leather, which looks like a medium brown, has obviously dried. Now I'm going to try to make it look a bit unusual, and this may end in disaster, because I'm going to try that green clear colour stuff, which we've read the tiny writing on there. It's actually a cellulose, and I know that cellulose and enamel don't mix very well, but I'm actually going to mix cellulose, enamel and enamel together, which I've just done a little trial to see if they mix, and they do sort of mix. What happens when you put a cellulose based paint on there, it might go all wrinkled. We shall see. So first of all, open up the enamels first. I haven't stirred this, I don't intend to stir it. This is the bronze again, by the way. There. I'm just going to use that stirry thing and just dip it in, and I'm after that. I don't want the paint bit, I want the particles at the bottom to give it a metallic. This gloopy stuff is what I'm after. Let's put it in that one. I want the metallic particles more than the varnishy stuff it mixes with. Like that. Right. Some of that, just to give it a bit of sparkle. If it will. I don't guarantee it will be. Because it may mix, it may not dry. So let's put that lid on before we knock it over or something. A little bit of black, tiny little bit of black. Again, you don't need much, just a daub. It's a word I use a lot. A drip, you might say. Something like that. Really tiny amount. Put that in there, because that'll mix with that. I don't want to mix it too much. I want it to be random a bit-ish. Get that off. So I was thinking of doing a wash, but I was thinking, why bother? I'm going to put some varnish on it anyway, and varnish is basically watery. So this is actually, I just read it's actually designed for doing stained glass or clear plastic. Not sure how it would work on certain plastic, being enamel based. Oh, let's do that lid up again. Get that on there. Get off my fingers. Put that there. Right. Now this I use the little ladly end. Let's just wash that in. Let's put 5 or 6 of these. The colour of that. Well, they're not drip it on the. So it doesn't matter about wiping the underneath. We're not. This is not an exact thing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do more than that actually. 7, 8, 9. No, I think most people won't have this stuff, but this whole loco is pure whimsy. You do what you want. You can just put a normal or dark wash on it to give it a more leathery look, or don't bother at all and just do it. Say leave that front end bronze with some varnish on it or something. Right, yeah, that comes off the spoon quite well. You can see it's very thin stuff. And mix it up. You know what will happen here. It's basically a varnish wash rather than a load of white spirit with a very weak colour in it. It'll be a very thin coat. The tricky bit will be, will it react? And then as it's a mixture of 2 different, not really incompatible paint types, now you can see the metallic bits inside there. That's what I'm after, or whether it will transfer onto it or separate out as soon as I stop stirring. It's got to get onto the paintbrush in that form. Right. Wipe that a sec. I've got the cellulose out because the brush will be mainly cellulose. So wet the brush in cellulose, dry it off again on the towel. Let's grab hold of this and see if we can. What the hell will happen? Oh, hang on, I've got the wrong glasses on. Let me close up one for this. I'm focusing for the detail bits. What will happen? Let's try this underneath bit first. If it all goes wrong, it won't show too much. It could end up looking as crap. Oh, bad word to use on YouTube. Go around that edge. Go on. No, no. To look even. But is it going to react? Can you see the glistening effect? Oh dear, I think it's reacting. There it is. Well, that might not be a bad thing. Because if it dries like that, it then shrinks back again as it dries. Not giving it a, well, a leather apron look. Pause it. I can't get the light right and see it properly. Let's pause it and leave it a few minutes and come back. Well, sort of gives a rustic look, so I'll continue. It will react, but hopefully it will dry okay. There it is. Yeah, can't. Oh, I need to give this another stir. All the solids have gone to the bottom. I'll get it evenly distributed. Like that. Wipe the spoon a little bit. Can't do it fully at the minute. Right. Get it back on the brush. What you don't want to do is it reacting so much it actually acts as paint stripper and it starts peeling the back again. You don't want it going on the green too much either. I'll get it even. Like that. Looks nice for a while. I'll turn it around this way, I think. That's better. Like that. Hopefully it will streak out like that. Try a little bit more this side. There's cellulose, and then it starts to dry out very quickly. Like that. What you can see in that light there. There we go. And it starts going a bit lumpy, you see. So I'll leave it facing down so it runs away from the green. And like that. And that can be like an overall. Right, so while that's drying, well, I bunged it on the radiator, using that down the fins to hold it above the radiator to keep it flash it off quicker. It's not so bad. You can see there, I'm going to give it another coat, or at least on the top there, while I've still got this stuff handy. So I'm going to have to give it a little stir when what's left of it before it all dries off. I'll just leave that in there. Right, make sure the brush is still supple, bends properly. Alright, there's some more. Right, so another go at this. Put the wrong glasses on again. Stuff on there. Best to move it from the top to the bottom in one stroke if you can, like that. There, like that. Underneath's alright, you can see that much. What can you see? Get it around here. I'll get it at a distance so you can see it better. Have I missed anything there? Well, it's hard to tell now, isn't it? It's alright. Right, I'm going to put that aside now. Well, it's dried off. Look at that. Bronze is very powerful. Not much of the brown left. Tiny little bit, and it depends which light you're looking at it in. One thing I did forget to say is last night, you can see there, I put a little bit of red for the well, regulator I suppose it is, throttle. And as that bit of moulding sticks up quite a long way, it was quite easy for that very fine brush to just run along it with that same paint that I use for the buffers. Anyway, I'm going to move to some special things on the diesel jet engine job, which can't be done on the steam one, which is basically finished now. This is going to be exclusively green varnish on certain bits which I know should not react. So open that up again. I don't think you don't need to stir this stuff. Right, so these jet engines, that finish there is the original finish, which I know that varnish won't react with. I presume Hornby used probably some acrylic actually. And the other thing I intend to do is to fill the windows, well not completely fill them, with a spoonful each of the varnish to give a green tint. And I know that's not paint at the bottom, the white, that's just raw resin, so that should be okay, that shouldn't react. You don't want a wrinkly window, do you? So first of all, the jet engine bits. I suppose I need to put this thing back on again, don't I? Which is pretty good. So this is also very good because when I do the end windows, which means it will be like that, you can adjust it to be perfectly level. So you do one until it's dried off enough that it won't run anymore, and you can turn it around and do the sides, and then a different angle like that, do the bottom windows, so nice and level. So this thing's actually proving very useful doing these small models. But first of all, I'm going to do the jet engines, which is basically just normal painting with a normal paintbrush. Let's see what happens then. I have got my correct glasses on. Just gives a green tinge to it. It's quite different to what it did. And obviously a glossy look as well. Big old thing this. Plenty on there. I'll do it this way. It's a bit weird. Get on there, get that off there. Right. Continues with a green theme. Well, all these things are optional. Do whatever you like with the colour scheme of this thing. All these things. Okay, like that. It's getting a bit runny, it runs away a bit. I can use another brush to get this off of there. Don't want it on there, get it off quick off of there. There's a bit this there as well. Oh. Yeah. Jade green, a bit different, isn't it? Levels that alright. This one could be left. I shall leave it that way around, I think. Let that dry off for a little while. Pause. Well, the jet engine green stain is drying nicely, it seems alright. So now I'm going to try, on this end only, as far as the video is concerned, this window staining idea. Just using a nice little spoon of varnish. I will wipe the underneath so it doesn't drip onto it. And we just let it run into the... Just run out all over the surface. Do one at a time, don't want to keep it wet. Carefully edge it into where you need it. I'll just get a helping hand by tilting it, it might help a little bit. Go on, keep going. So watch how it runs. This might be where this rubberized thing is, what do we call it? A paint shaper, a colour shaper. We're going to shape it into the shape of a window. Get in that corner, go on. It's nice and fine, this thing. No bristles to go pushing things around. I can move it around, I'm not moving it around. Get in there. Go on, in that corner. Don't let it touch the main bodywork paint. Change my glasses to the correct ones again. Keep doing that. You start right. Let's get onto those corners. Hopefully they're all self-level and produce a window. So, do the next one. That's better. That's lovely now, alright, isn't it? And that one. Only about 3 spoonfuls, I think, per window. Hopefully we've got enough. I think that first one could do with another spoonful. That's better. It runs out over it. That's better. And of course you mustn't touch that until it's definitely dried off enough. You don't want it stinging and picking it up and then it will sag. Of course this could probably work with a normal varnish, of course. You can decide on colouring it, put a smoky grey at the bottom or something, or pale, very pale blue, and normal varnish over the top. A bit like how they do water on model railways, I suppose, and other dioramas. That'll do, I think. Yeah. How's that? Is that getting in this corner? Get in there. That's what it is. It's not getting in there, is it? Get there, go on. Here we go. It's got right in that edge there, I can't see. There you go. Like that. Just leave it, I suppose. Half an hour at least, I would have thought. That little nice and clean. Right, I'll just leave it now. I think it's got into all the corners yet. Let it do its thing.